Hi everyone, in today's video I am going to be setting up my word of the year for 2023 in the Ink Bucket planner. In order to set that up, I'm going to be using this spread right at the beginning. We have a beautiful note and a flower. I really love these kind of notes and designer pages in a planner, but we do not have a lots of notes pages in this year's planner, so I decided to cover this up and create my word of the year, like set it up in this page. And if you don't know what a word of the year is, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about the concept. I will share my experience in the past, like how it has practically helped me and the things that has been manifested out of it. I'm going to talk to you guys about all of that. So in case you want to choose your word of the year too, I think this is a great video for you to watch, or if you don't, then just sit back and enjoy. Okay, I had sort of marked this here because I didn't want to use the spread for anything else. And let me just get this bookmark out of the way. In order to set this up, first I'll talk about the supplies that I'm going to be using, and then we'll chat about the word of the year concept and stuff like that. Okay, so this time I'm going to be trying out something different. Usually I use stickers all the time. I am going to be using stickers as well, but along with that, I thought I could use this greeting card. I bought a set of, this came in a pack, I guess pack of 6 or something, and I really like this design, and also it's nice to have blank greeting cards at home just in case you want to send a card to anyone, you have it ready to go. So I had a few of these left, and I thought I could like paste this down here, and because this is a card and like I said it's a blank card, you open it and I could put my word of the year here. I just felt like it would be just something different than what I usually do, and also it'll help me cover up the note that's there at the background, and the color, the theme, everything goes along with the spread. So let's take our planner out of the way for now. We are gonna be adding our word of the year inside this card using a lot of stickers, and also I am gonna be bringing in a few decorative stickers as well, just to make sure I have a hard surface. I'm using this particular planner box from Happy Wagon, and the stickers that I'm going to be using are these letter stickers, and these are puffy styled, so it's sort of 3D. I got these actually to set up my 2022 planner, and then I did not use it at all. I'm not sure why I did not use it in any of the spreads, so the back is as it is, and it would be great to set up my word of the year. And also one of my favorite, absolute favorite sticker box is this boho themed sticker book from a brand called Recollections. I know you guys asked me to link these sticker books, but they aren't available. I got these long time ago, probably it's been I guess 2 years ago now, and that time itself they were really old. Like I used to keep seeing them, but I would never buy it, and then finally I decided to buy it, and in a couple of months it went out of stock, so I cannot really link this thing. I'll see if I can find this too, because I got it more than a year ago. I'm not sure, but if I can find, I will link them in the description box. What I want to do is use this particular color theme, this pink, blue, and there's a little bit of orange, and I'll bring in these mandala stickers and along with some feathers, basically transparent ones that I can put throughout the throughout this card. And I've still not decided how exactly I want to do it. Do I want to put the letters first and then go with the stickers, or put the stickers first and then go with the letters? I'm not really sure. You know what, let's go with these designer stickers first, because I feel like it would help me get a better picture of what this might look like visually, and then I'll go in and add those stickers. I can layer those stickers too, so I think it's better to put these ones first because they're flat and the letters are puffy. Alright, coming to word of the year. Basically this concept, I heard of it, I think it's been a long time since I've heard, and I used it 1 year, I guess in 2018 or something, 2017, 2018. I remember very well. My first time that I set up word of the year was I chose the word consistent, because I was that person wherein I would set some goals, I would work on it for a week or something, and then I'd be very inconsistent with it. And also once I remember, I'm like, okay, this is not happening. I really need to be more mindful. And then I would start from scratch, and it was just so exhausting. I really wanted to be consistent, and that time I didn't really know what exactly I was doing. I was new to the personal development world, and it was just a nice experiment. I'm glad that I did it though. So yeah, that was my first word. But in 2020, in 2019 actually, I moved out of India with a purpose, with a goal, not goal exactly, I want to say with an intention and a purpose to really find out, live outside, live away from the usual setting that you've brought up in, with your family, with the people friends, and all of that. Just leave all that, go outside, live by my own, and just find out who I really am. I really wanted to do that. And the first 3-4 months were awesome because it was a new country. I was really enjoying a lot. And then I also took up post-graduation during that time because I was really skeptical about taking a career break. I was absolutely scared. So I thought, why not? Let's just go study something and see how that goes. And even if things don't work out, at least I'll have a degree by the end of it. So that's the reason I took it up. And when I got my first semester holidays, it was in December. I think from December 18th, I remember very well because it was my mom's birthday. That day I had my last exam, and I was like, okay, great. What do I want to do in my semester or the semester holidays time? And I felt, okay, this is the time I really want to focus on, let's just do a review on what the year looked like, because until then I was trying really hard to do these yearly review things, but nothing really sat right with me. And that time I joined a group coaching program in those semester holidays because they had this thing wherein in a group they were doing their 2019 review. I mean, how fascinating is that? So I joined it, and it was pretty good. I really liked it. I found a lot of value in it, and I chose it. I did my yearly review, and then I started working on my 2020 goals. And this time I felt that okay, let's not put too much pressure on myself, because when you're setting yearly goals, monthly goals, and then you've been constantly quote unquote failing in it, you've not been working on it as you intended it to, I think it can leave a lot of scars, for the lack of a better word. You tend to get nervous, you tend to start believing that you're not a person who can work on these goals. Like, those are amazing, other people, you are not that kind of a person. Like, that is how I was talking to myself. And in the 2019 winter holidays, right before the new year, I decided, okay, let's just take things one day at a time. What I'm gonna do is every day I will set my intentions. Did I do it for that day? Well and good. If I didn't do it, why didn't I? Just trying to analyze it, go step by step, not being too harsh on myself. So I picked that phrase for the year because anytime I was speaking harshly to myself, that was just a sign for me to be like, okay, no, it's fine. If you missed it yesterday, if you missed it 2 days, if you missed it last week, that's totally fine. Just take it one day at a time. And it was such a game changer for me. I feel like that year was really, it brought up a lot of things. And also lockdown hit, right? And imagine if I just keep thinking, because I had that philosophy of taking it one day at a time but not panicking, and I was away too. I didn't have my family with me at that time. It was so scary. I didn't know what to do. Do I fly back to India? Do I stay here? What the hell do I do? So I'm like, taking that one day at a time, it just really helped me, because you'd never know in like what situation you'll be and how exactly these word of the year or the phrase that you said would come in handy. That was just so, it was just such a relief. And something that I'm really grateful for that I did, grateful for my past self. Ever since then, I'm like, I'm gonna do this every year. I want to do it because this was just a complete game changer, especially when you intentionally use these word of the years. Then in 2021, I won't go into a lot of detail, but I'll just let you guys know what word I picked and all that. I picked my word as experiment. I'd gotten a little bit handy in YouTube in 2020, and I wanted to just see what I can do in this space. And that is when a lot of you people came on board as well. I uploaded my first Inkpacket video at the end of 2020, and I'm like, okay, let's just experiment. Let's just experiment with the ideas. Because there was a lot of uncertainty at that point in time because of lockdown. My classes moved online. We didn't know when we were going back to college. There was just a lot of uncertainty during that time. So, you know what, let's just experiment with things. Let's just work on a few things. But I also did carry the one day at a time philosophy forward, and that too helped me. So that was for 2021. Also, around this time, I made a few podcast episodes. That was part of my experimentation process. I made a few podcast episodes, and I talk in detail about how you can choose your word of the year. And I also explain about why I chose experiment and what my intention is with it and all that. You can go have a look. Probably link the playlist. I think I uploaded those podcast episodes on YouTube as well, in case you don't want to leave this platform. You can go have a look at that or listen to it on YouTube. That was great. What I want to talk about is 2022 word of the year, because I haven't really shared a lot about it, apart from, I think I spoke about it while I was setting up my word of the year, and also while I was setting up my 2022 intentions. After that, I don't think I've spoken about it a lot. And my word for 2022 was tranquility, and it meant a sense of calmness in my life, because I felt my mind was very chaotic at this point in time. We were almost 2 years into lockdown, and whatever plans I had for my life just completely changed, and I had to pivot a lot. It's just, like everyone, I feel like during that lockdown stage, our perspectives shifted, we changed a lot of things. And for me, I felt there's this chaosness that's going on in my mind. My outside life looked very peaceful and lovely and nice. I felt quite comfortable with the tangible things that I'd achieved in my life during at the beginning of 2022, and I felt this sense of chaos in my brain. I'm like, okay, I need tranquility. I need this in my life. So that is what my word of the year is going to be. And it just came in a lot of unexpected ways, I feel. I think this again, if I have to compare it to 2020, during lockdown, how that 1 day at a time came in handy. For me, tranquility just came in really, really unexpected ways. And one of the examples that I can share is, let me just say what I started doing it and how I started implementing it in my life first. I included a lot of yoga into my life, and then visualization, meditation, journaling. Yoga, after a point, I think I did do it. Yeah, I even went to classes until the first half of the year. But having journaling, meditation, as well as visualization, that really helped a lot in my life. And then for the most part, I was in India this year. I was working from there. And I traveled a bit. That brought me a lot of joy, and the places that I chose to travel to, the places that I stayed at, that all of that was like, okay, I need tranquility, I need calmness, I need peace. So that was all the center. This was how I was intentionally using it in my year, and it was great. It was all nice. And then I traveled to Canada. I met a friend of mine, someone who I was working with before. and she just asked me something about my time in India. Until then, I hadn't really thought about this at all. And when she asked me that question, I answered her. I don't really remember actually exactly what that question was. It was something around what changes did you experience when you were there last time? Because my plan wasn't to stay here for such a long time. It was just to come here, see what I just learn about myself, and then go back. Or yeah, I hadn't really thought about my future a lot. So she asked me, how did you feel? And also, so there was some other question as well. But basically, my answer to that question was, I felt a lot of nervousness and just some shyness. I felt I was hiding a lot. One of the reasons for that was when I traveled here between the time. First of all, it was after such a long time, and I am a complete introvert at heart. So this whole lockdown thing, I didn't meet a lot of people. Yes, we did have video calls and stuff, but in person there was very little meeting. And also in Canada, lockdown rules are pretty strict, so that was a little bit difficult to do. So I was just in my shell, and I really like that because I just enjoy being on my own. I don't have any issues with it. But going there and having like so many people around me all the time, it was really overwhelming. And if I had to wait for someone, I would never like wait in front of a store or something. I would just go hide myself somewhere. I don't know why I used to do that. That is when I consciously thought about it. And also a few people pointed out, like my sister, my friends, they pointed out like, stop going and like stop hiding, come out, it's fine, it's fine. I'll tell you guys another reason why I was hiding like that. It's because during these 3 years or so, I put on a lot of weight, and that brought a lot of consciousness. Like, okay, what are people going to think of me? Or, I myself wasn't comfortable in my body. And then, like my sister said, you can't do that. Like, you just be confident in yourself. That's totally fine. It's not a problem at all. Like, just be confident. Work on it now that you've realized like you can work, and you will be fine. That's not a problem. So I took up yoga, and that helped me quite a bit. And then by the time I came here, I just felt so comfortable in my own body. And being someone who was always like, I was always on the heavier side ever since I was a little kid. There was this sense of like, I have to lose weight. That thing was always there. Like during my school days, during my college days. Okay, if you're at this weight, then you look pretty. Or if you're at this weight, then you're like, okay, you can relax or something like that. That debate was always going on in my mind. And this year, for the first time, I just felt like, okay, I do want to get there. I do want to be healthy and be strong in my, like, I do want to have good physical health. But at the same time, I felt peace. I felt tranquility with my current self. Now I'm like, I am working towards my, I don't want to use the word ideal weight, but you get the sense. I am working towards that, but at the same time, I'm not demeaning my current self. I'm not punishing myself for coming to this situation and then looking back and trying to go back to where I was a few years back. So I experienced a lot of tranquility in that sense, and that was so unexpected. I never really thought about it, because ever since I was conscious, I feel that thing, like lose weight, like that has always been part of my life and the goals that I usually set before. So it felt really good. Actually, it felt really good going back there, and a few of my friends, my sister, when they, like, I feel sometimes you just need to hear it from an outside person. It'll make a lot more sense than you telling it to yourself. So that quite helped me, and I feel I never expected that this word of the year would bring in such a huge change into my life, something that I was struggling with almost my entire life. I feel like it helped me quite a bit, and that's the reason for 2023 I was so conscious. I became really conscious. I'm like, oh my god, these word of the years that I set in the beginning of the year is manifesting in my life in such beautiful ways, in such unexpected ways. I just want to choose the best word this year, something that feels 100% right. I was debating with a few words, nothing was sitting right with me. And the other day I was doing yoga, I got a word, I felt like, okay, this is great, but then that too was, it's like it felt great at the moment. Then I thought about it a little bit more. I'm like, no, probably not that. Let's see something else. And then today I did a tarot reading, and then I finally found my word. In case you guys have picked your word of the year, do let me know in the comments below. And also key in like why did you pick that word? What do you want to, like, what's your intention or expectation of that word? Do let me know in the comments below. I think it'll be nice for other people in our community to read as well. Might give them some ideas, or it's just nice to share with other people. Okay, in terms of these border stickers, I'm good. I might bring in a few more a little bit later after I've added the word. Let's see. So my word for 2023 is trust. And when I heard this word, or when I thought of this word, it just felt like, okay, this is great. This is the exact word that I have been looking for, and it feels good. It feels like, yes, I'm ready to commit to this word. Another thing I read somewhere, or I don't know, I heard it in some podcast or in some video, that when you're choosing your word of the year, if you have like 2-3 words, think about, okay, does this sound right? Are you inspired by it? Also go one extra step and ask yourself the question, are you ready to commit to this word? And that's when I felt, the other word that I spoke about when I was doing yoga, and it came to my mind. That felt really nice, and I was really inspired by it. But when I asked myself the question, am I ready to commit to this? I'm like, no, I'm looking for something else. I need something else. And I did not like really get a word, because all the past 3 years I felt like I got the word like while I was randomly thinking about something else, and it just felt really right. I never sat down and thought about what my word for 2022 would be, or 2021 would be. So it just felt perfect. And this time I struggled a little bit. I'm like, okay, when I don't really get any answers through my regular means, I go to tarot. That has helped me tremendously, that particular method, just doing tarot readings. It really helps me a lot in terms of getting clarity and in terms of getting clarity and some intuitive messages. I feel it helps me quite a bit. So I felt trust would be the good word for 2023. And the reason I chose this word is because I felt like in a lot of my areas, fear is playing a huge role in relation to the decisions I might take or the thoughts that I might think. Fear is playing a huge factor. And I thought about it. I was thinking about, should I pick courage? Because that's the opposite of fear. And then I realized, or not realized exactly, but when I was just contemplating it in my head, I thought about it and I felt like, okay, if I'm just trying to tackle fear, it's like tackling a symptom. It's not really finding the root cause. And when I did the tarot reading, I just felt, okay, the lack of trust is sort of birthing the fear. So I feel like this word would help me tackle the root cause rather than just trying to tackle the symptom. I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. I hope I'm a little bit clear. But yeah, for me, first thing, when I feel like there have been a lot of instances in the past few years, most recently I would say like past 2-3 years, wherein I have felt a little bit underconfident. I keep doubting myself, I keep questioning myself, not only in terms of whether I can do something or not, or whether it's, that particular thing is for me or not, but also it's like not trusting my intuition. This wasn't me. I wasn't that kind of a person. I was someone who was extremely confident, who like I was really comfortable with myself and the choices that I was making. But after I moved here, and I was like, ever since I started living away from my family, I think fear and self-doubt has crippled a lot. And that was the purpose of moving here, right? To like know who I really am without all that surrounding, without all that support that I have, like who exactly I am and how I do behave. And that's like, that is something that I realized. Okay, but no problem at all, because this is what I came here for. This is what my intention was, to really learn about all that and to work on it. It is a journey, I'm 100% sure, with this whole thing of tranquility or one day at a time or experimentation. It's not like a fix that I have found in my life. It might come, I might face these issues in the future as well, but I have the experience of dealing with it. Like, I've dealt with it in the past few years, and I think the way I would handle it in the future would be a lot different. If you want to compare it to the time when I wouldn't have learned all these things, or I wouldn't have known about all of these things, known and also tried to work or deal with these kind of situations. So that's one thing. Trusting myself, trusting my gut feeling, trusting my intuition. While I was doing my yearly tarot reading as well, even in that, when I was, one of the questions was regarding my goals and focus for 2023. And even in that card, it said, like, trust your intuition to tell you what your goals would be. So that was a prompt. I think I didn't really catch it. I gave myself, I'm like, okay, let's take some time, not hurry to set up 2023 goals. Let's really think about it, see what feels good, and trust that intuition to decide on that particular goal. So that was one of the tarot messages that I got some time back, and that felt good. So that was one of the things. Before I talk about the other reason why I picked trust, I think this is fine. I did it in reverse way. All right, I was thinking I'm doing it this way, but I'm gonna be pasting the card like this, saying for trust, one is trusting myself and my intuition. Then another thing that's really going on in my mind a lot is just to make sense of something that might be happening, which I wouldn't fully understand. For example, there were a few incidents this year, in 2022, when I really worked on it. I felt like, okay, this is gonna work out, this is gonna happen, like, it's really happening. It's just like a few weeks away or a few days away, and then something changes in a matter of a second, in a matter of a click. Something completely changes and things get delayed, or I'll have to end up changing the way I work and changing a few things in order to get to the finish line, or to achieve the goal that I was working on, or something like that. So I just want this word to be a reminder that I really want to trust the higher power, universe, God, whatever you prefer to call it, to, yeah, just trust that everything is happening for the good. And this kind of a feeling, like, trusting the universe, not really worrying about the outcomes, not really worrying about the future a lot. This was, this is who I was a few years back. So being in this fearful situation with a lot of unknown is very uncomfortable for me, but I also want to acknowledge and realize that it's okay not to feel that way, and it's okay to find another way to deal with it, because I feel a lot of that came from external sources along with my internal sources. But being around family, being around like close friends who I knew from my childhood, I think those played a huge factor in just believing that everything is going to be all right, or nothing, wrong can happen, or, it's all good. It's all good. All is well. And I also remember another incident. I think this was in my 10th standard. You have your public exams. People drill it into your head saying that it's a turning point of your turning point in your life. And I was feeling pretty confident for those exams, to give those exams. I studied a bit, but the previous day, I just felt it was all a bit too much and I wanted to relax a little bit. I didn't want to be in front of the book and just stress over it even more. So I relaxed, and a few people, they're like, oh, you have public exams, what the hell are you doing? You need to go study and all that. And that brought a lot of fear in me, and I'm like, oh my god, am I doing something wrong by relaxing? And oops. And then the next day morning, so the day of the exam, while I was waiting for my dad to get ready so that he could drop me to school, so many people called, like my cousins, my neighbors, a few family friends. They're like, all the best, you're going to do really well. And that time I remember feeling that when there are so many good wishes for you, like nothing can go wrong. I do feel like now when I'm experiencing a lot of self-doubt and anxiety and fear regarding a few things that's going on in my life, I try to think back and look how I dealt with it previously. And I do feel a lot of that came externally. It was there. I feel like even now I'm a pretty confident person, but due to some experiences that I've had in the recent years, especially after moving out, it has made me more careful. Like I think 1,000 times before I do something than if I was in India. If I was in India, I wouldn't have thought about it a lot, because in my mind, if something goes wrong, I have people to fall back on. But here, that's not the case. So I think, yeah, it's just that. And I really want to see and work towards using my own intuition and using my own self-talk and all of that to grow my trust, not only in myself, but also in the higher power, that everything is going to be all right. Okay, so now I think I put this correctly and I really like the way it's looking. I'm super excited for this though. I've never done this in my planner wherein I've put a card and there's something inside it. This year, I really want to try a few different things, of decorating my planner other than just using stickers. Don't get me wrong, I really love using stickers, and that'll be, like you see, even if I use a card, you will see me using stickers. But I think I want to try different creative ways to decorate my planner. I think it's just interesting. It's a lot more interesting. Okay, hope this is straight. Let me just take a peek. I think it is fine though, or I think slightly we should move it a little bit. Okay, I think this is pretty good. It is almost straight, I guess. I don't really see any issues, and I love the way it's looking. right next to this sticker. I might throughout the year, if I feel like if I want to add anything, I might add a few short quotes or some experiences that I've had around the word trust around this particular flower. I'll see if I want to do that or not. I think it'll be a nice exercise, but I should remember to do it. I always forget it. Anyways, let's see how this is gonna look now. You have your planner here, and then you open it. You have your word of the year, and here it is. I am so happy with the way it turned out. Especially, I feel like when you open it, it just, the colors and all that, it matches really well with the design that's going on in the planner. I'm just so happy with the way this turned out. I think I also want to add just a sentence here saying word of the year. That would be nice. Not that I would not remember or I would forget or something, but you know what, I'm gonna write it here. I think it's just a really nice note at the end. It's gonna be very small. Word of the year. Okay, I am just so happy with this setup. It's bringing me a lot more joy than I thought it would. I thought it would just be something different that I'm trying, but I love it. I really love the way it's looking, and I feel like it's one of my favorite setups, planner setups that I have done till now. I really like it. I might implement more of this greeting card styles while I decorate one of the weeks or months in my planner too. So yeah guys, I really hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope me sharing my experience with the word of the year gave you some value, or you just enjoyed listening. I really hope that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to continuing this journey of setting up my planner, you know, yearly pages, like doing 2022 reflection, 2022 goal setup and all of that with you guys this week and, you know, in the coming videos. I really look forward to it. And yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.